Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back to the predictions and breakdowns. Today we're taking a look at UFC Fight Night Song versus Figueiredo, which is taking place on May the 30th, 2026 in Macau, China. It does start at 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. More likely than not, I will not be able to stream this one, but that is okay. We will be there for the next one. We will also be there for the recap and breakdown the night of, when I do finish watching this at work. It's a fantastic night of fights. Really, really good prelims. A lot of high-level prospects. Not really a lot of road to UFC talent, which I'm okay with because I think there are a lot of them are god-awful, like I've talked about previously in the past. But other than that, we have a lot of fantastic fights. Let's get right into it with the prelim opener. That is, what is it? Luma Lukbunmi versus Jacqueline Amorim, which actually I like a lot. Here, let me try and turn this down a little bit. There we go. Jesus Christ, I can actually see now. We're going with, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I really want to pick Luma Lukbunmi. I think Jacqueline Amorim, when she doesn't get her takedowns and she doesn't get to, impose her game plan, she kind of just falls apart. If she doesn't get an armbar submission or a good back take inside, usually the first 2 rounds, she doesn't really win a lot of fights. She's kind of terrible. Luma Lukbunmi is 5'1". She does lack a lot of the height advantage. She does have a bit of a reach disadvantage as well at 7 inches, but she is a bit of a crazy Thai kickboxer. She does force the pressure a lot. She has had problems with grapplers in the past, which is why I'm a little bit more tentative on picking her. But I could see her being able to pull it out here. She is an underdog. I would probably play plus 3.5 if you're on the betting side. But if we're being realistic, if you want to play it safe on Tapology, you can pick Jacqueline Amorim just based on the fact that, usually the favorites do win 60% of the time. But I'm going to go with Luma Lukbunmi. I think she's going to be a little bit more aggressive in rounds 2 and 3. I do not think she's going to get finished. Luma Lukbunmi's only been submitted 1 time in her career, and that was a long time ago. And I do not think this is going to be happening again. I do not think that Jacqueline Amorim is some crazy grappler. There's a lot better than anybody she's faced, and I think she'll be able to pull it through. So give me Luma Lukbunmi just to get win on the scorecards. I think Jacqueline Amorim just hasn't fought really that high level of competition, and when she did, she got smacked up for it against Mizuki Inoue, who should not have won that fight realistically whatsoever. She's old, she hasn't fought in a long time, and Amorim couldn't get it together. Next on the prelims, Kang Ji Zhu versus Rodrigo Vera. I do not like Kang Ji Zhu at all. I thought he lost to Bin Ji. Bin Ji just got a finish today. This is, Thursday the 28th? He just got a finish this morning in the road to UFC as a minus 400 favorite. Absolutely mauled the kid and then submitted him with a really, I'm pretty sure an arm triangle choke. He looked phenomenal. The kid looked crazy. Wait, Bin Ji might have been the guy that got the right-hand knockout. Let me just double-check this real quick. Yeah, he did the uppercut, right, against Yudi Katagiri. Fantastic knockout, though. It was an amazing knockout. The kid looked really good. Kang Ji Zhu looks, I guess I should give him some credit for making it to a decision with Bing Ji, but I do think that Rodrigo Vera is going to be able to put it on him and just be a little bit more aggressive. The guy's fought in LFA, which is good enough for me to take him. Like I said, I do not like the road to UFC guys. They usually are cans who have just been gifted shit. Kang Ji Zhu lost that fight against Bing Ji, and I believe that he will lose it here against Rodrigo Vera. Rodrigo's just a little bit more impactful with his strikes. He has a little bit more to show for the judges as well, and I think Kang Ji, not really a good talent, really shouldn't be inside the UFC, but did get the win, so I guess they got to give him a contract. But it is what it is. Next on the prelims, Angela. Jesus Christ, I thought I said that wrong. I'm so tired. Angela Hill versus Jingnan Zhang. Man, these names are ridiculous. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go with Angela Hill. I have never seen a 38-year-old prospect come over from one who fought once a year for the last 6 years, and I do not see her beating a fucking top 20 strawweight in Angela Hill, who has still consistently been one of the best fighters on the UFC roster, to be consistent and to still have wins in her category when she really shouldn't. Like Fatima Klein, close fight. Yasmin Lucindo, I thought Angela Hill won that fight pretty clear. Tabitha Ricci, I thought she won that fight pretty clear. And there's been a lot of those fights where Angela Hill really should have won the fight, and she just doesn't look that good in the second and third round because of how she chooses to apply herself, which is kind of a problem. But I do believe she's better than Jingnan Zhang, and I do not believe that Angela Hill is going to just wilt over and give up a win against a girl like this, who can't even stay consistent enough to fucking stay the one champion. She literally couldn't stay there. She got injured or whatever it was, or she just didn't want to fight there anymore. But I just don't see her getting it done. Angela Hill could be one champion fucking 15 times over, and she just chose to stay in the UFC where the big dogs play. Angela Hill plus 210 underdogs, smack it all day. We're going with Hill to get it done with ease. Next on the prelims, Ray Chisora versus Luis Gurule. Gurule, I guess is what they're saying his name is. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I would probably pick Luis Gurule. I don't know if I can say this an official pick. I really don't know. I'm gonna pick Luis Gurule because time and time again you see guys who get these short notice fights. They're preparing fucking full camps for a completely different fight. Ray Chisora is supposed to be fighting Jesus Aguilar, who is majority of a grappler. This guy doesn't really want to stand on the feet. He will trade, but Ray Chisora was, you know, pretty confident that he's going to be able to take him down and ragdoll him. Luis Gurule is not going to be a guy that's going to easily be deterred, but I do believe, you know, he did beat Daniel Barez. That gives him a little bit of confidence, but the level of competition that Luis Gurule has fought and lost to is nothing short of what Ray Chisora is, and Ray Chisora is a very, very high-level competitor. This kid is coming into the flyweight division very quickly with some incredible things to show. He did only beat Carlos Hernandez, though. That's where I kind of give a lot of red flags off. He lost to Joshua Van in a decision, and now he gets Luis Gurule. You know, I don't... If I'm being honest with you guys, like, Jesus Aguilar beat him. I'm going to have to probably pick Ray Chisora to get it done, but do not count Luis Gurule out. Listen, short notice fight, Ray Chisora is not going to be 100% confident in his game plan. Maybe you could look up for some really crazy boxing with Gurule in the second and third round, maybe early, but if he doesn't get the TKO finish, I do not believe that Ray Chisora is going to give it up to him on the decision scorecard, seeing as he's so dominant in the grappling. He'll just eventually ragdoll Luis on the floor. Next on the prelims, Arichi Long versus Cody Haddon. We're going to go with Cody Haddon to get it done, probably by knockout or decision. Arichi Long is a little bit crazy. The kid's got a lot of good power, but he just hasn't been a high-level contender inside the UFC for a very long time. I mean, he beat up Cody Gibson, whatever. Cody Gibson should have got knocked out. He fucking sucks. I think that a lot of the fights that this guy's lost are just really, really bad. Jeff Molina, Cody Durden, Eamon Zahabi, Raul Rosas Jr. ragdolled him. Cody Haddon here, a very high-level Australian prospect out of Perth. He's got a lot of good fights out of the Hex organization, and that's enough for me just to pick him by himself. He had a really good fight on the Contender Series against Billy Brand. Brand got cracked really fucking bad, dropped to the floor, and eventually got submitted. And now you have Cody Haddon. Had the fight almost 2 years ago with Dan Argueta. He is back after a big injury, and he is here to make a fucking statement against Arichi Long. I do believe that he's going to get a win over the Mongolian Murderer. I do not believe Arichi Long is even close to his stature. I do believe the stand-up is just a little bit better for Haddon as well. I do believe that Arichi Long will just eventually get pieced up. Pieced up on the feet and probably fall victim to a nice uppercut or something in the second round. Maybe get dropped and maybe eventually just give up a 29-28 decision or a 30-27. I don't think he's going to really win around. He probably should lose all three or get knocked out. Should be an easy win for the minus 300 favorite in Cody Haddon. Next on the prelims, Meng Ding versus Jose Henrique. We're going with Meng Ding. I really don't want to pick Ding, but Jose Henrique has literally no good fights on his entire record. He has not fought anybody of note. He lost to Yasaku Kinoshita, and Kinoshita fucking blows ass. This guy is probably one of the worst fighters I've ever seen inside the UFC, and he got ragdolled by him in the third round after he had a tough fight. I think Meng Ding's a lot better. I think he's got a lot of potential with his knockout power, and I do believe that this fight will probably not go distance. I think Meng Ding is purely looking for a knockout, and he is in Macau, China. He is from Shanxi, and he is close to hometown. He's probably going to try and just put it on Jose Henrique and just maul him into the nether realm. I think Meng Ding can get it done inside the first round. I think it will be an explosive knockout for the kid, and I think it'll be just another one to add to the books after Jose Henrique gets tossed back into the fucking nothing land, because this guy should not be in the UFC at all. And the fact that these are even money odds, I guess that's how bad Meng Ding is, but fuck Jose Henrique. I will never pick that guy in my life. Give me Meng Ding as an even money dog all day. Oh, God. Next on the prelims, Luis Felipe Diaz versus Yisak Lee. I do believe Diaz was in the Contender Series. if I'm not mistaken. He lost or beat Donovan Hendrick, who kind of fucking sucks, if I'm not going to lie. Donovan hasn't even fought since either. This guy's kind of been on AWOL streak. Felipe Diaz, a little bit of a question mark in a lot of his fights. I mean, he doesn't really look that good. He hasn't fought that level of contenders that I can be confident in. Yisak Lee, though, I mean, again, these are just guys. Both of these guys are a little bit of big question marks coming into this. Not a lot known about either of these guys. The level of competition is just very, very lackluster. But Luis Felipe Diaz, at least getting through the contender series, being forced to be matched with someone that is at least a half-decent level. I think I'm just going to go with Felipe Diaz to get it done. I don't know much about these guys, but Luis Felipe Diaz at least has some high-level experience, at least, with a miniature crowd. Yisak Lee fighting out of these random organizations, just getting out of South Korea. I mean, sure, but not good enough for me. Felipe Diaz by finish is probably where you're looking at. I'm going to just go under 2.5 rounds for that fight. Those guys probably just trying to show something big to get into the UFC and make it known. Plus, that is the highlighted prelim of the evening, so you are looking for a finish regardless, just based on what the UFC likes to look for. Now, next on the main card, you have a very, very good fight in Alex Perez versus Sumadarji. I think this is going to be a fantastic fight, but I do believe Alex Perez is going to be able to pull this one out over the Tibetan Eagle. There's just a big problem with the jab game and the fact that Sumadarji is probably going to be able to tag him up pretty good, but Alex Perez has been consistently good in his career enforcing the pressure. He's gotten caught in a couple guillotine chokes throughout his career as well, where he should have been winning the fight. Like as well as Almabayev, he should have won that fight. Charles Johnson, he chinned him really, really quickly. And now you got Sumadarji, who, you know, always really been mediocre inside of his UFC career. Hasn't really used the range for what it's really used for. He should have been using that a long time ago, and he would have been having a lot better of a time. Charles Johnson was able to piece him up and kind of keep him on the end of everything. I know Alex Perez is a little bit shorter, a little bit stubbier. He's going to have to move into the pocket and kind of he's going to have to force himself to get hit to be able to hit Sumadarji, and that's going to be a bit of a problem when it comes to the third round. But I think Perez, a lot of high-level experience, a lot of championship experience, and I do believe, I know he is not a champ yet, but I do believe Alex Perez is probably one of the best flyweights to exist. Just based on pure technique, I think he's perfect to fight Sumadarji here. I think he's got a good frame. I think he's using a bit of the weight bullying technique just to try and get a bit of an advantage over Sumadarji, who's just going to be a little bit too drained. He's massive for the weight class, and I don't know, man. It's going to be hard to keep up a 5'8" frame at flyweight. I'm dying over here, dude. I got to go to bed, too, for my other job. But we're going to go with Alex Perez. Even money dog. Should be pretty easy to win. We'll be stressing a little bit in the third round, but I think he'll get it done with ease. Next on the main card, I don't want to pick this fight, but I have to. Jake Matthews versus Carlston Harris. Matthews lost to fucking Neil Magny. That's all I got to tell you. He lost to Neil Magny in the third round when he won both rounds. He was a minus 4,000 live, and he lost to Neil Magny. He was paying plus 2,200 live. Carlston Harris, though, fucking terrible. Mocambique is just probably one of the worst fighters on the roster right now. He does have some high-level fights on his record, but there's just nothing I can say that makes me happy whatsoever to watch this guy fight. He's beaten Jeremiah Wells, Jared Gooden, and that's enough for me to just back the fuck off and say I'm good. Jake Matthews beaten a lot of good-level contenders. Chidi Njokuani's a massive one. Phil Rowe, decent boxer. He hasn't really fought the level of contenders where I'm like, oh my god, this guy's the next level. Except for the Chidi Njokuani fight. He beat the fuck out of that guy. And Njokuani's a nasty Thai boxer. Nasty as fucking. He beat the living shit out of Chidi really bad. And I know it was a quick fight too. He got submitted pretty quickly, but it is what it is. Maybe if we went distance, Chidi would have fucked him up. But Carlston Harris here, he does have a lot of damage. He does have a lot of really, really good technique when it comes to standing up. But losing to Santiago Ponzinibbio is where I draw the line. That's where you lose all interest from me whatsoever. You lose all faith, and you lose everything that I ever had respect for you wise. Give me Jake Matthews to get it done by knockout probably against Carlston Harris. If you're losing Santiago Ponzinibbio by a standing TKO, you've got nothing. In the third round, nonetheless, you got nothing left. You don't even want to be in the UFC at this point. You just want to fucking go home. So guess what, Carlston Harris? Go home. Next on the main card, Kaya Asakura versus Cameron Smotherman. We're going with Asakura to get it done via knockout. I think Cameron Smotherman's fucking terrible. He got into the UFC just because Jake Hadley had a short notice fight get fucked up, and and he was basically a gifted win to Jake Hadley, who lost the fight on short notice, which is kind of ridiculous. I don't think he had I think he had a problem with weight as well. Siri City and Ricky Simone back-to-back for Cameron Smotherman. He got his ass whooped pretty bad by Ricky Simone. Siri City put it to him as well. Was a close fight going into that third round, but he was able to pull it off. Now you get Kaya Sakura, the former Risen champ, who's just knocking everybody out in Risen, and probably will do the same against Cameron Smotherman. This should be an easy bounce-back fight for Kaya Sakura, who's been nothing but lackluster since his UFC appearance. But I do believe against Cameron Smotherman, there should be nothing short of a miracle if Cameron Smotherman is able to pull this off against Kaya Sakura. I do not believe Smotherman would ever make a Risen champion, and I don't believe he'll make a fucking UFC champion, and there's no way you're starting it today with Kaya Sakura. So give me Cameron Smotherman to get it done, or... Fuck. Yeah, don't say that. That might have been karma. Give me Kaya Sakura. I hope that's not fuck. I'm going to knock on wood. Give me Kaya Sakura to get it done, via knockout or decision, but it should be knockout. Kaya Sakura should be able to blitz him and put Smotherman out clean with a knee or an overhand right. I just don't see Smotherman being able to beat him whatsoever. There should be no stress here at all. Okay, well, I mean, are we really going to talk about this one? Sergey Pavlovich versus Talisha Teixeira. I'm going with Sergey Pavlovich by knockout. It'll be less than 2 minutes. If Talisha Teixeira lasts till the end of the first round, I will be thoroughly fucking surprised. If Sergey Pavlovich does not blitz Talisha Teixeira and put his ass into the fucking nether realm, I will be thoroughly upset with Pavlovich, and I will not be a fan of his anymore. And I'm not gonna lie, I might riot. I might not watch one of his fights again. Even though I like him a lot. He's probably one of my favorite fighters to watch recently, especially because there's always an expectation of a knockout. Whether he gets it or not, you're always looking at it and you're always getting excited. Okay? That is true. But I am not doing that if he loses to Talisha Teixeira. I will fucking quit and I will stop watching him. If he doesn't get him in the first round, I am no longer a Sergey Pavlovich fan. Should be Pavlovich in the first round. That should be a minus 5,000. Next, the co-main event of the evening. This is an absolute sleeper of a fight, but Mingyang Zhang versus Alonzo Menafield. If Mingyang Zhang cannot knock out Alonzo Menafield in the first 3 minutes, Mingyang Zhang will get knocked out in the second round. I'm telling you that. It's a promise. Menafield has dangerous hands. Dangerous. Very dangerous. His nickname is Atomic. I'm telling you right now, if Menafield is able to get to a second round, Mingyang Zhang will be tired. He will eat big right hands. This motherfucker will drop. You will see him fucking shoot from 5 feet out. And Alonzo Menafield is going to sprawl and beat the shit out of that boy. I'm telling you right now, the odds being 92% for Mingyang Zhang is absolutely laughable. Mingyang Zhang has beaten nobody but Ozzy Diaz, Anthony Smith, who gives up, Brennison Hebero. That is it. He beat Tuco Tucos in the first round, and Tucos was in the road to UFC, probably a little bit starstruck. Okay, he's beaten nobody. He always gets knocked out later on. He either is a round 1 or bust. I'm going with Alonzo Menafield. Literally, Mingyang Zhang has no round 2 wins, no round 3 wins, no decision wins. If Alonzo Menafield gets through the first round, you live bet all of your money on him. There's just no way. I'm going with Alonzo Menafield, plus 180. He's fought such better contenders as well. I know the fucking Tapology tells you that well, but I know for a fact Menafield has fought way higher level contenders than Mingyang Zhang. He lost to Volkan Ozdemir 6 months ago by a devastating knockout, but he was, honestly, even after getting clipped, he was moving really fucking well. He just ate a really, really bad right hand that he dipped into, and Volkan just put him out. But Mingyang Zhang ripping like that, bro, Alonzo Menafield dipping and ducking and dipping and ducking, yo, Zhang's going to get tired quick. I'm going to go with Alonzo Menafield. He might get blitzed early, he might get popped, but I do believe he's the better fighter, and I do believe he'll be able to pull it out as an almost 3-1 underdog. Now, we have our main event of the evening. If you guys did enjoy this, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you've not already. We have 50 seconds to get this done to make it a 20-minute video. Let's do it. We're going to go with Song Yadong to get it done against Deiveson Figueiredo. I do believe, though, however, that the odds are a little bit fixated. I do not believe that they are right. I think that Deiveson Figueiredo should not be a 4.5 to 1 underdog. I think the value is probably on the side of Figueiredo, but I do believe that Figueiredo's at the later portions of his career. He is fighting a 28-year-old absolute demon at bantamweight. This is a natural bantamweight who barely makes 136. This guy's fucking massive. He's 5'8", 67 inches of reach. This guy's got a lot of damage as well when it comes to his hooks and his overhands. He's got a lot of devastating power in those hands, and Figgy just hasn't really been able to figure out a bantamweight. He's got a lot of problems to work on. He's got a lot of things to work on to get moving forward, and I think Song Yadong is not the right guy to get into that matchup with to try and keep his top 10 spot. I think Song Yadong is going to walk him down and make it look easy. I think Deiveson and Figueiredo's at a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to the height, a bit of a disadvantage when he comes to the grappling as well, seeing as Figueiredo's not going to be able to take Song Yadong down. There's just no chance. He's going to have to stand and bang, and that's where Figueiredo's going to get chewed up on the feet. I'm going to go with Song Yadong. Minus 400 favorite. Knockout or decision is probably what you're looking at. I'm going to say a late TKO finish for Song Yadong over Deiveson and Figueiredo. That's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe, like I said, if you have not already. I'll see you guys all on Saturday for the recap and breakdown, and I will see you guys all, hopefully, for the live next week, which is, let me just double check. We might have a week off. We also have Holly Holm versus Stephanie Han, which is crazy that she's even fighting still. Yeah, UFC Fight Night, Bilal Muhammad versus Gabriel Bonfim. That is a crazy fight. And that should be a good one. I'll see you guys all later. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Peace.